The crimson nebula swirled around the sleek, obsidian hull of the Orca's maw. Captain Vela, her chitinous carapace gleaming under the filtered starlight, surveyed the holographic display. A pod of Astromancer whales, bioluminescent giants, drifted lazily through the void, their barnacle-like growths pulsing with a soft, celestial glow. These weren't your typical whales. They were colossal leviathans, some longer than moons, that produced a rare substance called Astrosilk within their bodies. Astrosilk, woven into nets, held the key to interstellar travel, allowing ships to fold space itself. However, harvesting it was no easy feat. The captain's first mate, a grizzled veteran named Klax, his mandibles clicking nervously, speaks up.
Captain, looks like a familiar pattern. None of the Astromancers have the signature iridescence.
Vela knew what he meant. The iridescence was a telltale sign of a high Astrosilk concentration. They had been hunting the legendary Leviathan, the Kosmocetus, for years. Legends spoke of its size dwarfing even the largest Astromancers, its skin shimmering with 1,000 celestial hues. Its Astrosilk, they believed, could fuel an entire fleet trip across the galaxy. Vela commanded, her voice a rasp through the ship's speakers.
Spread out, take the starboard flank. I'll scout ahead.
The Orca's maw, along with 3 other Hunter-class vessels, dispersed. Vela piloted her ship with practiced ease, weaving between the colossal creatures. Scanning each whale for the telltale shimmer, hope battled with a growing sense of dread. Every failed hunt brought them closer to resource depletion. Suddenly, a flicker on the long-range scanner. A faint iridescent sheen, barely perceptible. Her heart hammered. Could it be?
Klax, listen up. Target acquisition, bearing 312, Mark 7.
Static crackled, then Klax's voice boomed.
Captain, visuals confirm. It's immense.
Vela steered the Orca's maw closer, a lump forming in her throat. The Kosmocetus was unlike anything she had ever seen. Its colossal form was the size of a small gas giant, its skin a kaleidoscope of colors that shimmered like a living nebula. Its barnacles pulsed in a rhythm that resonated through their ship, a deep, primal song. But awe turned to terror when the Kosmocetus shifted, a section of its underbelly revealing rows of barnacles unlike any other, razor-sharp, obsidian black. Before they could react, the barnacles erupted in a volley of bioluminescent energy blasts. Vela slammed the helm to one side, barely avoiding a direct hit. The other Hunter ships weren't so lucky. 2 were vaporized instantly, the third limping away with critical damage.
Captain, we can't fight this.
Vela knew he was right. Yet, staring at the titanic creature before her, a spark of defiance ignited within her.
Full retreat.
The Orca's maw and the crippled Hunter retreated into the swirling nebula, the image of the Kosmocetus imprinted on their minds. The hunt wasn't over. It had just begun. The escape from the Kosmocetus left the Orca's maw crew shaken but determined. They retreated to the fringes of the nebula, nursing their ship's wounds and grappling with a sobering truth. Brute force wouldn't win them the Kosmocetus Astrosilk. Days bled into weeks as the drones repaired the ship's systems, the silence of space punctuated only by the rhythmic hum of the ship's engines. Morale dipped, the crew haunted by the colossal whale and the loss of their comrades. It was during this lull that Klax stumbled upon something extraordinary. Amidst the salvaged databanks from the wreckage of their previously accompanying but now ill-fated Hunter ships, a faint, almost imperceptible signal flickered on a piece of old wreckage that wasn't from their Hunter ships. Klax, with his unmatched knack for deciphering old tech, managed to tease out a partial transmission. It originated from the Celeste, a legendary Hunter ship known to have been in this sector when it disappeared, and renowned for getting the closest to the Kosmocetus than anyone ever did over a century ago. News of the discovery spread like wildfire through the Orca's maw. The Celeste's captain, another fearless woman named Amara, was a mythical figure in the Hunter Guild. Her exploits whispered in hushed tones around flickering fires on distant space stations and hubs. The faint signal, though fragmented, could be the key they were desperately searching for.
This is Captain Amara of the Celeste. We've managed to establish a temporary tether with the Kosmocetus. Readings indicate an unimaginable concentration of Astrosilk.
The flickering image resolved on Captain Amara's face, etched with a mix of determination and a hint of awe. Her voice, though scratchy with age, held a quiet conviction.
Violence is a blunt instrument against a creature this magnificent. We've lost too many good souls to the Kosmocetus fury. But there has to be another way. My theory is this: the Kosmocetus isn't just an Astromancer, it's a living tapestry woven into the very fabric of this nebula. Perhaps the key lies not in brute force, but in understanding its song, its needs.
The scene shifted on the holographic display, showcasing a complex network of bioluminescent pathways pulsing within the Kosmocetus' colossal form. Amara's voice lowered to a conspiratorial whisper.
These channels, here, they're the conduits for Astrosilk production. My hunch is, if we can mimic a specific bioluminescent sequence, a sort of harmonic call, we might stimulate these channels. A controlled release of Astrosilk, if you will. A symbiotic harvest.
A flicker of static momentarily disrupted the transmission, then Amara reappeared, her expression grave.
Imagine a machine that could resonate with the Kosmocetus' bioluminescent language. A beacon, perhaps, that triggers a natural release of Astrosilk, a gift, not a plunder. We wouldn't be taking from the creature, we'd be coaxing it to share its bounty.
The transmission flickered once more, the image distorting into a kaleidoscope of colors. When it cleared, Amara's face was filled with grim determination.
We were on the verge of a breakthrough. We managed to tether to the Kosmocetus again, hoping to study these channels further. But something startled it. The tether snapped, throwing us back. This might be my last transmission. But please, whoever finds this, learn from our mistakes. There's a way to dance with these magnificent creatures, a way to harvest their gifts without resorting to violence. Find the song, the harmonic call. That's the key to a future where hunters and astromancers can coexist.
The transmission abruptly ended, leaving the crew of the Orca's Maw speechless. Captain Amara's vision, a bioluminescent beacon that mimicked the Kosmocetus language, was a radical departure from traditional hunter methods. Yet, in its audacity, it offered a glimmer of hope. It was a chance to rewrite the narrative, to move from ruthless exploitation to a future of respectful cohabitation within the vast expanse of space. The question that hung heavy in the air was this: could they translate Amara's theory into reality? The fate of their expedition, and perhaps the future of space whaling itself, depended on it. The transmission abruptly cut off, leaving behind a stunned silence. It wasn't much, but it was a revelation. The Celeste had tethered to the Kosmocetus. Amara, with her legendary audacity, had achieved what many thought impossible.
This changes everything. We need to find the Celeste's wreckage. If there's any record of how they tethered, it could be our ticket to harvesting the Astrosilk without harming the creature.
A wave of excitement rippled through the crew. They weren't just hunting anymore. They were on a mission of discovery, a chance to learn from the past and rewrite the future of their relationship with the magnificent Astromancers. With renewed vigor, they began scouring the nebula, following the scant coordinates gleaned from the partial transmission. The search wouldn't be easy. The nebula was vast, the wreckage of the Celeste likely scattered and weathered by the harshness of space. But for the crew of the Orca's Maw, the stakes were too high to give up. They were determined to find the Celeste, unravel the secrets of Captain Amara, and perhaps, finally, the Kosmocetus again. Well, space cowboys and cowgirls, that's all we have time for today in part 1 of Astromancers. Looks like Captain Vela and her crew have their work cut out for them. Who knew space whaling would involve deciphering bioluminescent whale songs? Makes you wonder what kind of bait you'd use to fish for a creature like the Kosmocetus. Freeze-dried asteroids? Anyway, be sure to smash that like button and subscribe for part 2, where we'll see if Captain Vela can find the Celeste wreckage and unravel the secrets of the Astrosilk harvest. And hey, who knew space whales were such musical creatures? Makes you wonder if that old saying, a bad day fishing is better than a good day at work, applies in zero gravity. Until next time, stay curious and keep your space antennae peeled for bioluminescent beacons.